Welcome at OpenUp at the workplace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marta, for being here. You are our head of people. And we are in the mental well-being space. That's our mission. And we talk about well-being initiatives a lot. What are well-being initiatives?
So I think it can be anything from big things to small things. Basically, everything that has an impact on how people feel when they come to work every day, whether it's in the office or online. Anything that has an impact on, do people feel like they can contribute? Do people feel included? Can they bring their whole selves? Do they feel safe? And do they have the capacity and the headspace to really maximize their skills and do what they want to do and what they're here to do? And I know that sounds a little bit abstract and that basically anything can fill into these buckets, but that is indeed the case. When it comes to well-being, you can think of traditional benefits, but you can also think about, how are you connecting with each other? How are you seeking each other's feedback? How are you sort of finding those moments of connection, of building relationships with one another, for example?
It is basically pretty broad in a way. It's even holistic. There's a lot connected to it.
Exactly,
And what kind of initiatives stand out for you in OpenUp?
So let's say to name a few or to name the three top ones, of course, OpenUp itself. As employees of OpenUp, we of course can use our services and our products. And what we see is that we do use it a lot, especially if we look at our entire customer base. We are quite an example on how to access our own content and our own products. The second one that I would mention is, for example, the way we do meetings. So in the past couple of years, we've grown quite a bit. So now it was the right time to look at this a little bit more structured. So we've implemented a new sort of more playful meeting where people really get to collaborate, care for each other, share success stories, appreciate each other. And we're hoping that also brings people together in a way that also impacts their well-being in a positive way. Yeah. The third one, of course, has to do with leaderships. What we always say is that, if you train your managers, that will have the highest return on investment and the most impact in your organization. So we like to do a lot of workshops, a lot of role play, and really try to improve ourselves in how are we having these conversations and are we all able to have a meaningful conversation about well-being.
I can really echo that. I like the appreciation channel that we have in Slack, where colleagues can give each other positive feedback and celebrate in front of the group. And I also like the role plays that we do with the leadership team to really develop skills like listening, active listening, sometimes listening without an agenda, and also where we practice how to give feedback and how to talk about well-being in the team. I think that's something that really echoes with me as well. And when you talk about well-being initiatives, often people officers ask us, what are the return on investment? How do we measure whether this works or not? What is your reflection on that point of measuring whether well-being initiatives indeed have that positive impact that we search for?
Yeah, indeed. And that is, of course, a tough question. And it depends a lot also on the stage of your organization. How size are you and how advanced, let's say, your HR function is, or how have you developed it? But I would say, of course, the key is data, and look at the right data points and make sure that you start somewhat early to gather data points to then be able to look back and look at the trend. So, for example, looking at your absenteeism rates, looking at your turnover, are people leaving and why are they leaving? Those are all things that you can ask and you can start building upon your data acumen. Of course, looking at engagement results and designing the engagement questions in a way that are relevant to your organization. Something that we do as well, of course, is look at our own OpenUp usage. We look at the trends. Are there certain themes that are going up and down? What also helps me a lot is to really reflect and try to connect everything together. What has happened in the last 3 months in the organization that could explain some of the trends. And I would say the next step for us would be to also really connect all these insights that are coming at the moment from different systems and that are collected in different ways to really have a holistic story around these data points.
Yeah, that I can I understand that, of course. And how do you bring this storyline towards the colleagues?
Right. So, for example, we use these meetings that I was talking about with the previous question to really share with the colleagues, okay, this is what we see, this is what you are telling us. And then, we also use these meetings to share what we are planning to do with it, to make things more explicit. And then, at the moment, we keep measuring the engagement, and hopefully we will see that these meetings and this transparency also pays back and has some impact.
Thanks for sharing, Marta.